Today, we're going to be ranking every single song from Eminem's new album, The Death of Slim Shady. Should be pretty cool, should be pretty exciting. We're doing it in a tier list style, so that's neat. Not really, it's pretty conventional. But anyway, let's get into it. We're starting with Renaissance, which was a fantastic way to open up this album. I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't the best song on this album for me, but it was one of the best on the entire project, and it was the intro track. Starting with the name dropping. That was crazy. That got me really excited and into the album. Anytime you're going to mention people like Kendrick Lamar, J. Cole, people who have large fan bases and have been so important to rap music, it's going to pique my interest. It's going to make me, look up and, I don't know, just want to listen more to what he has to say. And honestly, it was an interesting point. Seeing how an artist like Eminem might take criticism and how he views criticism, and people on YouTube like me who might critique him, or it was just interesting to see his point of view there. Besides that, he was flowing on this song. There weren't any really cringe bars or anything like that, which I'll get to very soon, actually. Yeah, it was a great way to open up this song, putting it in the amazing tier. And guess what, all you Eminem stans? You thought I was one of you? No. Habits, bad. No, I'm not an Eminem hater either, but I do think this song was bad. It was just cringe for me. There was a lot of stuff he said here that I didn't like. I didn't agree with. I thought it was stupid. The Me Too stuff he said, like, weird. It was just weird. And then, like, his infatuation with, like, the Jenners, weird. Like, I don't know what you doing, man. And I get what he was doing, actually. He was trying to, be Slim Shady and do that whole thing again. And I really liked Slim Shady. I wasn't alive then, but, looking back on it, I liked it when I listened to it, when I visited it. But it was more clever back then. It was more funny back then. It was more interesting. And yeah, it was just a lot of the stuff in this song and in some of the other songs, unfortunately, were just very numb, lowbrow, and not clever, like his past Slim Shady stuff. So yeah, I thought this song was bad. Then we got Trouble, which, oh no. This song, like, really, I do understand what he was trying to do with getting into that, alter ego, that Slim Shady, but it was just being edgy for the sake of being edgy. Like, you gotta add some cleverness into it. You have to. It's the same thing with Habits. But this was on a different level. He straight up just said he didn't like blind people. He didn't like quadriplegics. Did I pronounce that right? I hope so. I don't care, actually. Anyway, it's fine if you want to harass blind people or do anything, you play a little joke on them. Not even harass them, just joke around a bit. But it has to be funny. It has to be clever. It has to be. Otherwise, it falls flat and it's just like, what are you doing, man? Come on. Brand New Dance was fine. It was dead average. There wasn't anything super bad about it, but there wasn't anything great about it either. I don't think it was really my type of song, so I probably won't listen to it too much in the future. But, I don't know. Besides that, the mixing I thought was a little weird. All the vocals mixed together with the high and the low. I thought it was a little awkward, but once again, I feel like that might have just been a stylistic preference and me not really vibing with it not just clicking for me. The next song we have is Evil. I'm also putting it in bad tier. I don't think Eminem fans are gonna like me. Anyway, why was this song bad, in my opinion? Well, the flows were very choppy at points, and I hated that. I hate the choppy flows. It's not catchy, and it makes it much harder to understand what he's saying, which sucks. It's one thing if it's like Playboi Carti. I don't care what he's saying, because he's not a lyricist. Like, he's not gonna be he's not gonna have bars. But Eminem usually, like, he could have some bars. That's like one of the main things he's known for. So I want to hear what he's saying, and those choppy flows just make it a bit harder, make it a bit ugly and bad, like this tier. Now, at this point in the track list, Eminem, our little friend, goes on a bit of a run here, starting with Lucifer. I'm putting this in the good tier, the first song to go in the good tier, actually. That's kind of surprising. I didn't realize that until just now. But anyway, Lucifer, I love the beat for this one. I love the hook. Oh my gosh. The feature, the hook, fantastic. Really glues the song together. I don't think there's too many cringy bars, which was the problem with a lot of other songs. Yeah. This was a good one, and it's the start some good songs to come. Because next we got Antichrist. I love the intro to this song with the kids yelling, he's the Antichrist. My bad. That was not good. But, yeah, I like that part. That was really cool. It like weirdly felt nostalgic in a sort of way. I don't know if anyone felt that way too. But it sounded very much like Eminem, especially like that Slim Shady type of Eminem. Towards the end of this song, it really, I mean, that was a crazy ending. Just obscenity, one after another. But I still think overall this was a great song as well. Now we get to Fuel, which, man, is this really close to being the best song on this album. But once again, it's just quite not there. I have one other song ahead of it, but this is definitely in the amazing category. JID, phenomenal feature. I mean, contender for feature of the year. I don't know if it's my feature of the year, but it's definitely in the top 10, maybe even top 5, probably even top 5. I mean, he was absolutely spitting on this. He was finding every pocket of the beat, so many different flow. It wasn't even that long of a feature, but he flowed in so many different ways, switched it up so many times. It kept it so interesting, so exciting, where I was like, wow, like I didn't know what to expect next. And Eminem really didn't get washed either. He held his own. He had the P. Diddy line. That was hilarious. That was great. That was one of the best bars on this entire album, on the entire project. Yeah, this was a phenomenal song. Also, the production, I almost forgot to mention, that was amazing. An absolute standout, perfectly matched the changing flows and just the complete excitement for the song. It just made it so hype. Now, Road Rage was a bit of a tricky one. It was a bit of a mixed bag because there was a lot I liked and didn't like on this track. On the one hand, I really liked the production. I enjoyed the features a lot. They had such distinct, unique voices that matched the production well. But man, Eminem starts getting cringy. He just does. I can't help it. If I get cringed, then the song is going to get a bit worse for me. It is what it is. Vultures fell into that same problem with Kanye being cringe. So I think ultimately this song is just going to fall in average because it was good and bad. Now we got the first single from this track list, Houdini, which from the jump I liked. I think it's a good song. Don't think it's anything crazy, but I do think it's good. I like the concept of the song where Eminem was fighting himself, his alter ego, Slim Shady. I like the sound of it and how it did sound like one of those old Slim Shady songs. And it was, he did it a bit more justice in this one than a lot of the other songs. There weren't as many cringe bars, a little bit, but it wasn't as bad. I thought it was a better representation of who and how Slim Shady sounded. And finally, Guilty Conscious 2. That is the best song on this album, in my opinion. I think it perfectly represented the concept of this entire album. Eminem arguing with Slim Shady, both of them analyzing who they are, what made them good, what made them bad, if they need each other, if they don't. It was very psychological, and I mean, it was a really cool concept that Eminem went into, and it was one of my favorite parts of the entire album. Head Honcho's biggest problem is I don't think it really stuck out. It was a bit forgettable, but I don't think there were any glaring issues. I think it was just average. Now we're moving on to Temporary. Now I get that this song was supposed to be very sentimental, and it was nice. It was sweet, but it was also very derivative. It was very formulaic, and that kind of just brings it down to average, in my opinion. I don't think it was anything that thought-provoking or special, if I'm being honest. Bad One was bad. I talked about it before. You got the choppy flows in this song, and I can't do it. I really don't like it. It's one of my least favorite parts about current Eminem. I hate the choppy, robotic chicken flows. Toby, the second single off this album, off this project by our dear friend Eminem, I thought was worse. I don't think it was bad. I think it was just average. I thought the features were okay. I thought the hook, Toby Maguire was bit by a spider, was a bit annoying. Yeah, I thought it was, once again, kind of forgettable, like Head Honcho. The other problem with Toby, which only really surfaced when listening to the song in the entire context of the album, was that I don't really see how it fit within the album. Considering it is a concept project, I don't really get how him talking about how he's the GOAT fits here. Because from my understanding, how this album works conceptually, chronologically, is Eminem, Slim Shady, they fight, Slim Shady takes over, he does some stuff, Then Eminem fights back. He gets control again, but he has to deal with the stuff that Slim Shady did. And then he talks about him being the GOAT. I don't really get how that fits. I thought it was weird. I thought it was awkward. I thought it didn't work. But now we are finally here. The last track on this entire album. Somebody Save Me. It was a very emotional, almost ballad sort of. I mean, it was still rap, but it was a very emotional track about Eminem, or really Slim Shady, not being there for his daughter. Very, very heartbreaking. And I thought this was a really good track. Jelly Roll, I'm not really too into his style, but I think he did well here. I think they meshed together well. Both Eminem and Jelly Roll had good chemistry. And yeah, it was a sad but emotionally poetic kind of way to end the album. And I'd put this in good. Overall, I think this album was average. 5 out of 10.